Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today we've got the brand Ball. Now this is the first time I've never actually reviewed any of the Ball watches. I've seen a few and I'm a bit 50-50, but this one I do quite like. This one has been lent out to me from Steve over at a Watch Obsession. I've had it for a week now and feel I've really got used to it and how it, a good feel for the watch. Albeit I have been wearing it on a leather strap, as this is a little bit too short for me, which is a shame because I feel it's so well executed. Now, this watch, we get into the specs, it's a 40mm case by 13.2 by, I think it's about 46.5mm lug to lug. And we have a bracelet size of 20mm on this. Now, let's zoom in on that dial and get a look at it. As you can see, it's got a lovely sunburst effect on this dial. It is available in different colours, I believe. I think it's black, grey and silver. But the blue does look quite nice. It seems to be very much been colour over the last year or two. Everyone has that blue in their catalogue. And this watch obviously is no exception. Now, looking at that dial, you can see here these very much raised hour markers on there, and the reason why they're raised is because of the use of the tritium tubes which are below there. That's what Ball is really quite famous for. You can see the actual more naked tubes on the hands there. The hands I actually do like a lot. They're very high polished, and I love the defined break down the center and the way it goes off. Very sword reminiscent. Just try and screw it back in. Not the easiest crown to screw in, I would have to say, but the tubes there in their naked form I'm not so keen on. That's why I say on some of the Ball watches I'm not quite a fan when they have all the tubes on show, and it's forcing the design of a watch around the gas tubes, and that I'm not really a big fan of. Here I like the fact that they put the gas tubes underneath these glass containers here, which look like your typical hour markers full of luminous material. But being that it's tritium, it does glow all the time. Albeit I find you have to be in complete darkness to see it, but it just glows. It doesn't need any extra light on there or anything, it will just glow. Again, another thing about the dial, minimal use of text, which is what I like, just the fact saying it is automatic and a 300-meter water resistancy. So the only downside I would say on this dial is the Cyclops on the side there. It's not the fact that I'm anti-Cyclops at all. I own quite a few Rolexes which all have a Cyclops on that, and I like it on that. But the only problem I find with this, instead of magnifying it to give you a clear look at the actual date, I find this on here, it just looks a little bit vague. When you look behind that, you can't really see a true, clear sign. If I show you a Rolex with a Cyclops, you see the difference. It is very well defined. And on this one, it's a little bit of a, I don't know. I think, honestly, the best thing they could have done would have been got rid of the Cyclops on this. If this was my watch, I would possibly remove the Cyclops myself, because I just feel then it would look a lot better. But there again, we've got to remember, this is more an entry-level luxury Swiss watch as such, being that the RRP in the UK is just under £1,400. So there are going to be compromises made, and that's what I'm just not so keen on. As we go past the sapphire crystal with its AR coating, I must say the casework on here is lovely. As you can see, it is very nice, and it picks up my fingerprints all the time. In fact, from the side there, it gives me the impression of a Rolex Milgauss. I really do think it looks very, very similar. We have a sign crown, which as we've seen is screwed in. And if we look at the back of the watch, let's go around this side. You can see we have a very nicely made case back there. Sometimes I'm not so much of a fan when they're been milled out like this. So I did have a couple of watches, I think a Christopher Ward and a Citizen, and I actually found them quite sharp on the back. It is screwed down. This one, albeit isn't sharp at all, it's very nice and smooth. What's hiding behind there is Ball's, I think it's RR1103 movement, which really is just an ETA 2824-2. So very much a bomb-proof movement. You shouldn't have any trouble with this. I've been finding this watch has been about 6 seconds a day, and a constant 6 to be fair. The other big thing with these watches, obviously being that you have the tritium tubes, is the anti-magnetic features. Again, very Rolex Milgauss about it, and its incredible ability to take high G. So it's supposed to be able to take something like 5G, this watch, so it is actually quite high. The gas tubes on this, I believe there's something like 14, and they are slightly different colours. But I say, to get the most out of them, you have to be in complete darkness to really see them. It's not like a normal watch where you just have a luminous material where I can put a flashlight on there and it will glow. Simply, that will not happen. This watch has to be in complete darkness for you to actually see it. Now, the actual bracelet on this watch is really quite nice. I love those polished center links. Now, normally I would never say that because I've got a few watches polished center links and they're a pain, but this one, I do quite like the design of it. I think it is quite interesting how they've done it. Raised up. I think they've really done a really good job. As you can see here, it is screwed as well. So overall, the bracelet is very impressive, and no shake at all on the end links. So you can tell that this is kind of a more into the luxury market, where some watches, when I do that, you can feel they do kind of rattle. The clasp on this watch is a butterfly. It does come with the ball engraved there. It is nice, but it is incredibly hard to undo. I can just about fit it on my wrist with this, but when you do it up, I just struggle actually getting it off. Now, it's got a good weight to the watch, I have to say. Overall, I think that the build quality is excellent. The weight of the watch, it just feels nice. But negatives, I would say, this clasp here, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a fan of that date window either. You know, it's horses for courses, but that's just my opinion. If I now put this on my wrist so you can get an idea, let me move that for you. So, sorry, wrist check. I'm wearing a Breitling Colt 41 at the minute. If I put this on my wrist, it's very firm, the butterfly, to be fair. I can just about do it up, but I might cut off the circulation after a bit. Now, I've got just over a 7-inch wrist, 18 centimeters or so, and it sits quite nicely, albeit somewhat tight on my wrist at the minute. But it's actually, I think, a very nice watch. I think for the money, you're getting a lot. You're getting a good amount of watch for the money here. So what do you guys think? Would you consider one of these? Would this be a watch you'd actually go for or not? And do you agree with me? Do you think I'm being silly about the date window or the butterfly clasp? Let me know in the comments below. I'll always try and get back to you. Okay, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe out there. Bye.